Hello there, and welcome to my settlement tutorial. Will it be good? Will it be informative? Kinda. Will it be fun? Yeah, betcha fucking ass it will be. Alright, so first let's start off with settlement basics.
Yeah?
You press and hold the V button here, and it brings up your rating that you have. I have 10 people, 24 food production, 18 water. Power's a little lacking, but that's because I have generators turned off at the moment. Defense is 43 from all these turrets around here. And the happiness is only going up, even though I have also turned off the power. It's almost at 80. So let's take this off and first start by turning the generators back on. Notice the flashy, awesome, sexy disco ball for those sexy Fallout parties. Well, that's not the first time I saw a woman staring at wood today. Let's bring the menu back up. And the people you can house is based upon the beds that you can put out. Now, we do have 10 people at the moment. Thanks to this radio tower. You only get 5 people to start with, and 10 people, or 5 people for every beacon that you put up. So since we're capped up, let's put another beacon up. At the same time, there's a radiation storm. Fantastic. Okay. You have to bear with me on this one. I completely spaced about where it was until now. Okay, so let's put up another radio beacon right here on the roof. And you'll see it takes a lot of those materials. And I'll go over those materials here in just a second. But now we have one built. And also building up your settlement does indeed give you EXP. So over here, you'll see we have a generator. It produces 5 electricity. Right now, it's only going to powering lights, which actually lights don't take electricity. It just takes electricity to be nearby to turn them on. Unlike over there with the floodlight, that actually takes 1 electricity. So this takes 1 copper to attach a wire. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to go all the way around here. Gotta love them radiation storms. There we go. So we attach the wire with space. And now we have a beacon to send a signal out to tell more people to come to the settlement. As you can see, we have enough food and enough water to keep holding these people. And only then the farm is tiny and the water sources are even tinier. So you can get a settlement up pretty big. It's just the materials you have to scavenge. Which, speaking of materials, let's go over here where we have them all stored inside of this workbench. You see that all this is junk. The cleaner says it's made of acid, antiseptic, and fiberglass. So these can be taken down into materials to build for your outpost, aka settlement. Now, you actually don't need to break them down. It's just when it needs something, it will break down the materials for you, and it will tell you what materials it's breaking down to do that to begin with. So, as for example, over here, we need to keep building a wall over so that raiders can't come in, at least on this side. So we can keep improving the wall. And you'll see that it takes the materials steel and wood. Right now we actually have steel and wood. So it doesn't matter all too much about where the materials are coming from, because those are just the base materials. And that was a horrible spot to put that. And it's just a makeshift wall to make do with until we get something even better. As you can see, we have one turret up there, but since this flank is a little exposed on the settlement, let's go to defenses, and you can select turrets. You see that the turrets take circuitry and gears and oil and steel, but they produce quite a lot of defense. And some of these do take increased ranks, and some of these actually do take power. Like the shotgun turret here, takes 2 power, but it is very strong, of course, when it's close range. So let's just build another... Yeah, let's build another heavy machine gun turret up here, just to make sure that this side is pretty strong. And those things have internal batteries, so they don't require electricity whatsoever. Also, since we're at it, as you could tell, when I highlight this person, it highlights all that farm that she's harvesting, aka also playing around with in the dirt. Looks like she's fingering the root system, no pun intended. But you can see that all this stuff is highlighted around her. That's actually the stuff that she works on. And that's how the food meter goes up, is you assign settlers to food or the defense even. And to assign a settler, you simply go up to them with this menu up, and you press E to command, and then you tell them to get assigned here, which is E again. Which it's best for the people that you tell to defend on these guard towers to equip them with a good pistol or something. I got him with a really strong 10mm. It's good to start with. The water, you just have to build it. You don't have to harvest it. I think that would be a little bit too much all at once to harvest it. Over here you have scavenging stations where I have 3 people equipped, 1 to each of them. And that actually scavenges supplies for you while you are away. Most of which, if not all of which, is going to be steel and wood, which is your main material that you're going to be working with. And then right here, you have your shops that you can actually start building. So we can go to the trader. But as you can see, it takes the perk rank 2 local leader in order to actually build these stands. And it takes a down payment, as so to speak, for the caps to actually set up the station. But once they're there, you actually start earning money from them. And of course, you could trade with them as well. And there is very rare instance chances, depending on which one you go to, like the trader, the armor, the weapons, the food and drink, clinic, or the clothing. Mostly the weapons and armor. Where they will actually have rare items inside of their barter that you can have with them. Of course, there being your shop, they'll give you a little bit better price, but they're still very expensive. And with the screwdriver and ball peen hammer, we have the armor workbench, the chemistry station, the cooking station. And as you'll notice, there's a few different ranks of these, and they actually do unlock better versions of those patterns. So you'll see I have a weapons workbench, and then you'll see I have a weapons workbench, which is the even better version of it. And you'll need those down the road later, but as you can see, it also takes ranks of the local leader. But most of the places will start with the benches already in place, and especially this one. And as you can see, I put flame decals on my power armor because that makes it go faster, because that's how cars work in real life. If you didn't know that, start painting your car flames, it goes faster. I'm not lying. Dog meat in the doorway, like he always is, blocking the fucking shit out of me. And let's see here. We do need some more lights here. So, perfect time to kind of explain it. You'll see that we're going to need some lights around here because it gets, well, slightly dark at night. But as you can see, these are just the lights. And they're not lighting up whatsoever. You'll see it says requires energy, but you'll see that it has no number next to the energy. So there's a reason for that, and I will show you here very soon. Do we need another disco ball? I feel like we need another disco ball. Well, we'll put that up shortly. So as you can see, we have this generator here, and we put up what's called a power conduit. And it rigs up electricity for lights right around it. So I have one going to there, going to a power pylon right here with a switch on it, so you could turn it off if you care for it. Which goes to another power conduit. And you'll see that nothing is hooking up these lights because technically the lights are connected to the electricity being thrown through the power conduit. So it doesn't take electricity, but it does take the copper wire, which is kind of rare in this game, at least early game, to be stretching over your base. So you want to try and make the most of your copper and, you know, the most of your electricity. I have it there in a spot that's pretty retarded, but whatever. The reason why I have it here is because I will be adding a computer system later up here to a bunch of lights. And I'm going to draw something in the air that totally may or may not be flagged. But whatever. But as you can see, we have the conduit here. So what we need to do is we need to make another conduit. So let's stick one right over this way. So I have it there, so I can attach a wire to this, and attach a wire to that, and you'll notice that that light just went on, but we need to do a little better than that. And I was going to put one over here, and if you don't want your wires to look kind of tacky, and if you have a little bit extra copper to spare, you can put up little mini pylons, and I'll just put them right here, so that way you can connect the wire to the mini pylon, so you can connect it over this way. So now we have electricity to this fence line. And there's a doorway here with a blocked fence, but there's no way to lock doors in this game. So, in case bandits try to use that, we'll go to the traps in defense. And since it requires nearby electricity but doesn't require electricity itself, for these flamethrowers, you just put it close by the door that has the electricity, attach a wire, and now we have a flamethrower going through our doorway until we turn it off. It's burning on the wood. It's fine. It's flame resistant wood. This is the future. The future's now. So since we got all that taken care of, at least on this side, and it will keep going, of course, but also they will, over time, need repairing. So, of course, the trap is going off for right now. So we actually need to escape from this, just to open the door. And we're going to need to put down, since it got used up, we're going to need to put down a pressure plate. Now, I'll do that in a second here. So that way, when anybody comes through there, they'll automatically activate the flamethrower. What I was going to do over here, start connecting these pylons together, because it was getting kind of dark over here during the night, of course. So we're gonna need to put a pylon right on this girl's tit. Well, a conduit, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll need to go to the lights. I like disco balls way too much. Let's not do that. And as you can see, electricity is running through this bush, because that's how lights. And her other boob will have a light coming out of it. So as you can see, we just used up all the copper, but now this area is completely lit up. Of course, using up none of the electricity. Alright, so let's go over this way to the armor bench here. And we will actually craft, or improve actually, some of these armor skins. So this one right here is pretty garbage to start with. And then you'll see that the mods are actually not so much for strengthening it, they are actually for specific purposes, like pocketed makes it able to carry more. Not really that much, just 5 pounds. Lighter build makes it, of course, a lot lighter to carry. So let's make this one a lighter build. And you'll see that it takes, we have cork already, but the cork is going to come from the antique globe that we have in the junk. The adhesive is going to come from the duct tape, the rubber we already have, the fiberglass we already have. So we'll hit E to make. So we just made that piece of armor lighter. Now let's make it stronger by putting apparently a butt rest inside of it. I know that's not how it's pronounced, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. You'll see it requires rank 1 armor, which I have. And we'll just click on that. And it's going to take the steel from the lantern. And the economy wonder glue is going to be our adhesive. So we'll hit E. And we just doubled its armor and made it a lighter build. Now you'll notice that the weight went up, but that's because we added a crap ton of armor to it to begin with from the standard. But if we didn't make it a lighter build, it would actually be 6 pounds. So that actually did effectively take a little more than a pound off. And we'll just rename it. And we'll call it A clear Yu-Gi-Oh reference. And you'll see sometimes it just doesn't take. Probably because I'm doing it wrong. Nope, I just named 2 of the other ones, but whatever. So let's go with the, let's see, what's garbage here? This is painted metal, which is pretty good. It improves, damage and energy resistance. But if we scroll all the way down, I don't have armor rank 2 yet, unfortunately, but it does only take a very small material. Adhesive being for armor what copper is for settlements, kind of hard to come by, but relatively easy down the road. And we'll pick the alloyed armor, which takes 1 less steel, but totally doesn't give us 2 more defense, but we don't have that damn perk. So clicking on that, it will take the steel from the lantern, and we already have the other 2 items, so that improves that. And it's a lighter build, but I think we'd rather have it pocketed. So let's go to pocket, and then apparently we get cloth from cigarettes, and we get everything else from everything else. Leather coming from the Deathclaw hide that we got from episode 1. Alright, so after all of that, you can see I'm a beautiful, thin, sexy lady.
Yeah.
So we can make it an automatic receiver, but the range will go down quite a lot. So what we could do is make a hardened automatic receiver. Click that button here since I'm gun nut rank 2. And as before with the armor and also with the settlement, it will take stuff from stuff you already have, like the duct tape adhesive. So we'll make that the hardened automatic receiver. You can improve barrel lengths, which will counteract the fact that you did just drop your range. So if we do long barrel, yeah, let's do long barrel. The stock really doesn't do that much in this game whatsoever. You think it would improve accuracy or whatnot? Barely. It just adds more weight than it's worth doing. But the magazine, we can add a drum to it, and since we made it full auto, why the hell wouldn't we make it a drum magazine? So let's do that. We use Mr. Handy Fuel for the steel. And there's standard sights. We don't want standard sights. We want a scope on our shotgun. Nah, I'm joking. But we do want a reflex sight. And for the muzzle, we have a compensator, which will actually increase the accuracy even more. So let's put on a compensator. And now we have ourselves one hell of a sexy gun. Early game. And you'll notice the name is so goddamn long that by the time you pronounce it, this game will be beaten by everyone in the world because it'll be 10 years later. So, like any other compassionate human, let's rename it. Let's rename it something witty. So we'll do that. We'll call it I'll be back #lol. Is that retarded? Nah. Is it dumb? Yeah. So we'll exit the station here, and we finish that right on up. So let's see if we could do anything to our power armor. You actually don't click on the power armor itself so much as the, of course, armor station. So we'll go to all of that. And we'll hit the chest. And as you can see, we can improve its damage and resistance. So let's give it Model B armor, taking only not too many materials as you might think. Nuclear materials may seem like they're hard to come by, but you can actually find them in alarm clocks, the board game that has it in there, of course. That makes total sense to give your kids radiation poisoning. I mean, in America. So we'll improve that. And then we'll also improve the arm, because why not? So out here, as you can see, we have actually lit up the place quite a lot right now. This side's a little bit more well defended. Of course, that's because of the turrets. And as you can see, our settlers like opening doors and not closing them because they are assholes. But they are kind-hearted assholes. Huh? He didn't hear what I said. Let's move on. So it just looks a lot better when it's all lit up. Alright, let's... Yeah, this will be good. And farming's way easier than you think. You just use the whole method of assigning people to garden them, and you just use the food. You just, you can buy the crops to start with from traders, or the settlers that come sometimes have food on them. Most of the food I'm grown here, except for the mut fruit plant right there, this all came from the farmers. You just let them harvest it, you harvest the grown product, you plant it again, you double it, you keep doing that every time. And if I didn't already say, the border around the green here is actually the build border. You can't go past that. Feel that this side is a bit naked, so let's add one more turret up here. There we go. And if I can't fit through that crack, they can't either. Although they could shoot through it. Go on the roof here, and you can actually build these houses. This was just a plain ordinary roof before, so I will show you real quick on the housing aspect of the structures. And you can pick between metal or wood. It's just aesthetic purposes. There's actually no benefits to either or, although they do have different presets. So if you go to wood, it'll say prefabs, which is prefabricated tools. So you'll see that they have different kind of room segments. But the last few here, they actually have fully completed shacks with doorways and everything. So let's find a spot here. It's a little big to be walking around with this thing. Scroll over to the right, get that. Sorry, stairs seem to confuse me lately. So we'll go up here. And apparently fall down. Well, I was going to build a shack over here anyway, so let's see if we could fit it in. That's what she said. So there we go. We have a little shack here. And you don't necessarily have to plug them in order to put stuff in here. But we do need a few more beds since more people are arriving. As we first started here, as you can see, we already have one more person that came in. So let's put a few beds down. And we'll get them some light later. We ran out of copper just a little bit ago. Also, sometimes the lights tend to do that, where it's at a spot that has electricity and will not produce electricity. I have no idea why it does this, but then again, every game has its glitches. It's just plain as day broke, though. Usually they turn back on if you unequip them and then re-equip them. And we'll just put them there and screw around with it later. And the cooking in this game, I mean, you can cook. The spit is better than just the little cooking station with the pot. So this one's actually way better. And, of course, you have your wall decorations. So, I mean, I have American flags. I don't know why I don't have innocent animals' heads in my room here. So let's do that. And this is the internet, so we do need more cat pictures. So let's just put up more kitty cats. This is a kitty cat. One more cat. One more cat. How about a moose? Moose to break up the cats. Alright, so we got a wall of cats. Our Jangles the Moon Monkey. I have a few of them. Don't judge me. And I have now mounted stag, or rad stag heads. Which are the deer in this game that have grown 2 heads. Just like the moo cows. And as you can see, the guy that we assigned over there to the post is over here too. So if you don't have enough people assigned to the post, he will keep changing positions and keep watching over. It's a little cool thing that they didn't have to add, but they did. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that's all it for at least the basic essentials of finding out how to run and maintain and get people in here to keep running a settlement and keep making bigger. There is one aspect to that, of course, and that the defense right now is 59. There's like a 1% chance of an attack on the settlement because the defense is way too higher compared to the food and the water, which is why the raiders would come and attack to begin with, is they want the materials. So if you keep your defense higher than your food and water, I'm 50% sure power might actually play an aspect in that too, though. They'll be discouraged from attacking the settlement. As you can see, I would be too. There's so many turrets. And since we also built a shack here, let's move the turret to this one. You do want to have them on high ground, because if the machine gun turrets do not mow them down, they will get destroyed. And you'll have to repair them if they're not destroyed. Let's move Dogmeat's house right here into the garage, because a house within a house is houseception, and we all love that. So yeah, that seems like that's about it for the quintessentials of starting, maintaining, and improving the settlements. There's always more you could do, of course, but this is just a very small and quick tutorial on what to do, how to do it, and just overall the materials that you need to do it with. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you found it informative.